The Eiffel Tower was never meant to be the symbol of Paris. Imagine Paris without the Eiffel Tower. No sparkling skyline, no postcard silhouette, no instantly recognizable landmark towering over the city. It almost happened. The most famous structure in France was never supposed to become a permanent part of Paris. In fact, thousands of people hated it. Many of the city's greatest artists demanded it be torn down, and after just 20 years, it was scheduled for demolition. But here's the twist. The Eiffel Tower wasn't saved because people suddenly learned to love it. It survived because of a brand new technology that almost nobody saw coming. And that unexpected decision transformed a temporary engineering experiment into one of the most famous landmarks on Earth. To understand why, we have to go back to Paris in the late 19th century. The year was 1889. France was preparing to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution with the Exposition Universelle, the World's Fair. Countries from around the globe would display their greatest inventions, scientific discoveries, and engineering achievements. France wanted something extraordinary, something that had never been seen before. The winning proposal came from engineer Gustave Eiffel and his team. Their idea: a wrought iron tower standing 300 meters tall, twice the height of almost every building in Paris. At the time, it sounded impossible. No structure had ever reached that height. Many engineers doubted it could even be built. Others thought it would collapse under its own weight. Yet Eiffel believed mathematics could achieve what imagination could barely picture. Construction began in January 1887. Most people don't realize that the tower wasn't built piece by piece on the construction site. Nearly every one of its 18,038 iron components was manufactured beforehand with astonishing precision. Each section was designed to fit perfectly, almost like an enormous three-dimensional puzzle. More than 2.5 million rivets held the entire structure together. Even more remarkable, the tower was completed in just over 2 years. Considering the technology available in the 19th century, it remains one of history's greatest engineering achievements. But while engineers celebrated, much of Paris was horrified. The real reason wasn't safety. It was beauty. Many Parisians believed the Iron Tower would permanently ruin one of the world's most elegant cities. More than 300 famous artists, architects, musicians, and writers signed a public protest. They described the tower as useless, grotesque, monstrous. One newspaper called it a giant black factory chimney towering over Paris. Perhaps the most famous critic was the celebrated writer Guy de Maupassant. Legend says he often ate lunch inside the Eiffel Tower's restaurant, not because he liked it, but because it was supposedly the only place in Paris where he couldn't see the tower. Whether the story is completely true hardly matters. It perfectly captures just how controversial the tower had become, but here's where history takes an unexpected turn. Despite the criticism, millions of visitors climbed the tower during the World's Fair. Some came simply to admire the engineering. Others came to see the view. Many came because they wanted to witness the structure everyone was arguing about. Yet none of that guaranteed its survival. From the very beginning, the Eiffel Tower had a 20-year permit. The agreement was clear. Once the permit expired in 1909, the tower would be dismantled and sold as scrap metal. It had always been temporary. Its fate appeared sealed. Then technology changed everything. This is where it gets strange. Around the turn of the 20th century, scientists were experimenting with something almost magical: wireless communication. Instead of sending messages through telegraph wires stretched across the countryside, radio waves could carry information invisibly through the air. It was a revolutionary idea. The challenge was distance. Radio signals traveled farther when transmitted from higher locations. Suddenly, the tallest structure in Europe wasn't an eyesore. It was the perfect communications tower. Engineers began installing antennas on top of the Eiffel Tower. Experiments proved remarkably successful. Military officials quickly recognized the possibilities. Messages could now travel across enormous distances without laying thousands of kilometers of expensive cable. The real reason the Eiffel Tower still stands today isn't because people stopped complaining. It's because radio made it useful. When demolition was reconsidered in 1909, its value to military communications became impossible to ignore. The tower had found an entirely new purpose, and that decision would soon prove invaluable. Only a few years later, Europe descended into the First World War. The Eiffel Tower became a critical communication center for the French military. Radio operators intercepted enemy transmissions, coordinated troop movements, and helped direct military operations. Some historians even argue that the tower's communications capabilities contributed to French successes during the early stages of the war, particularly during the Battle of the Marne. A structure once mocked as useless had become an essential weapon. Its survival had already justified itself. But history still had another remarkable chapter waiting. In June 1940, German forces occupied Paris during the Second World War. Before Adolf Hitler arrived, French resistance workers cut the elevator cables. Visitors could still reach the summit, but only by climbing more than 1,600 steps. Hitler chose not to make the climb. A popular saying emerged: Hitler conquered France, but he never conquered the Eiffel Tower. Whether symbolic or literal, the story reflected how deeply the tower had become connected to French identity. The monument that many Parisians once wanted destroyed had become the nation's greatest symbol of resilience. Most people don't realize the tower is still changing today. Every summer, the iron expands in the heat. On particularly hot days, it can grow by nearly 18 centimeters. It even leans slightly away from the sun as one side warms faster than the other. Keeping it standing is a constant battle against time. Every 7 years, painters cover the structure with around 60 tons of specially formulated paint to prevent rust. Without continual maintenance, corrosion would slowly destroy it. Like history itself, monuments survive only when each generation chooses to preserve them. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of the Eiffel Tower. The world's most famous landmarks are rarely loved from the beginning. Many of history's greatest achievements faced fierce criticism before they were celebrated. The Eiffel Tower reminds us that innovation often looks strange at first. People feared it because it was unlike anything they had ever seen. Yet today, imagining Paris without it feels almost impossible. More than 7 million people visit every year. It appears in countless films, photographs, paintings, and works of art. It has become not only the symbol of Paris, but one of the most recognizable structures on the planet. But perhaps the most fascinating part of its story isn't how it was built. It's how close the world came to losing it forever. If wireless radio had developed just a little more slowly, if military planners hadn't recognized its potential, if the demolition crews had simply followed the original contract, the Eiffel Tower might exist today only in old photographs and history books. Sometimes, history isn't shaped by the grand plans we make. Sometimes it's shaped by an unexpected invention that gives yesterday's mistake a brand new purpose. The monument that was never meant to last became the landmark the world could never imagine living without. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.